One of the most common ways to trade 0DT option is to sell Iron Condors shortly after the open so that you can get time on your side and can profit as long as the market does not make a strong directional move after you enter the trade. Now, as you probably know, if you do get a strong directional move, your Iron Condor can experience losses quickly if price starts to trade outside of your strikes. You've probably seen that before. Now, wouldn't it be nice to know which days of the week are less likely to experience those strong directional moves so that you can try to avoid that situation? Well, the daily forecast from alphacrunching.com can help identify days of the week that might be best for trading 0DTE Iron Condors. We'll get into a recent trade example here in a minute, but let's take a look at the forecast for this particular week. We're looking at the daily forecast for the week of February 12th, 2024. These charts were available before the week begins, so we can look at this prior to the week to get an idea of which days we might want to trade Iron Condors. As you can see, each day is laid side by side, and it is broken down into 5-minute increments. We can see Monday looks a little bit more volatile. And so this is, strong directional move, strong directional move. So this may not be the best day to trade an Iron Condor. Tuesday is relatively sideways, a couple dips here. We also have Wednesday trading sideways with an end of day dip, and Thursday trading sideways was an upward dip. And on Friday this particular week, we had a pretty strong uptrend being shown. So if I want to trade Iron Condors and look for delta neutral type strategies, or maybe even butterflies, I don't really want to trade an Iron Condor on Friday, and maybe I don't want to trade on Monday this week. But let's zoom into Thursday. This is a trade we just got out of, and let's look at the forecast. We're going to break this down, and let me quickly explain what we're looking at. On the y-axis here, we're looking at the average number of XPX points. These are broken into 5-minute increments throughout the entire day. We have the open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to the close at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And so we're looking at the average SPX points, and we can see what that is for each particular 5-minute interval. And this is then lined up across, and we can see that over the last month or so, there really hasn't been a strong directional move, or at least a consistent directional move that we're looking for intraday seasonality patterns. So this day was a pretty good day to open an Iron Condor at the open, try to get a few hours of theta on our side, and then maybe see what happens at the end of the day. Now this day, we look like there could be an end of day ramp, so we may want to consider getting out of that Iron Condor before that ramp happens. Let's go ahead and switch over to the chart for that particular day and show you how I traded this. Here's the opening candle, and again, this is a 5-minute chart of SPX. About 20-30 minutes into the open, the market was sort of consolidating sideways. We entered an Iron Condor with a net credit of $1.90. We sold a call spread at 50.30, 50.35 way up here, and we sold a put spread way down here at 49.95 and 49.90. So these are 5-wide credit spreads, so my risk on this would have been 310, and my max gain is 190. We're not planning on holding this for the entire day. And let me just touch on strike selection real quick. This is a personal thing. I trade a little bit more narrow. Had you gone a little bit wider or even wider strikes, you can, it actually would have expired inside. You can see this actually closed right near my short strike. But again, I'm really just looking to catch a few hours of theta in the morning and then see what happens at the end of the day. So I entered the Iron Condor with a credit of $1.90, and about 2 hours later, I was able to buy it back for $1.45. Not a huge gain, but again, I was a little bit worried about the end of day ramp, which we actually ended up getting. There was also a Fed speaker in here, so that's partially why I closed it early around noon and didn't hold any longer. Had I held a little bit longer, I might have been able to squeeze a little bit more out of it. But again, we're not trying to hold these things all day. We're really just trying to capture some profit during times that are most likely going to be a delta neutral or sideways action. So again, if you look at the alpha crunching chart, we had sideways action until 1 o'clock or so, and then that end of day ramp. And if we look at the chart, this was about 1 o'clock and we got the end of day ramp. It's not always perfect. This doesn't always line up. As you can tell, we got a little bit of a ramp and then we pulled back, and so we're not trying to predict the exact movement of the market, but really just use this as a compass for our analysis before the trading day begins. Because remember, we're going to be looking at this before the trading day, so we just have kind of an idea of what we may want to trade this day. But once the market opens, we need to follow our analysis and our risk management to keep everything in order. So if you're an Iron Condor trader, let me know in the comments below, what strikes do you like to choose? Do you have a certain delta, and what width do you like to choose? I'm always open to suggestions on how to set the Iron Condor itself up. And if you're interested in seeing which days of the week might be best for delta neutral trades, check out alphacrunching.com. And these charts are posted every week before the trading week begins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.